In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Half a day, everyone. Nestor Licanto here. Welcome to another edition of In Full Zoom. And it's my pleasure to, first of all, introduce our guest for this segment. Eveline Campus is the Vice President of Marketing for GTA. Kristine Lujan, Vice President of Marketing and Public Relations for Triple J Enterprises. And our own Krista Gaza, who is our General Manager of Pacific Telestations, also known as KUAM. And she's been a very active person in a bunch of different other marketing aspects of other companies. So welcome to the show, everyone.
Hey,
Thank you.
Having us.
Okay, so I wanted to start off by just giving you guys each an opportunity to talk about the businesses that you're involved with, and also tell us how it has been affected during this COVID crisis. And I'll start with you, Chris.
Okay, gosh, I don't know how many people have asked this question, how are we doing? This is our new normal. There's no playbook for this scenario that we're all facing right now. It really is about being nimble and adapting to the situation. That's the most critical, right? So one thing I've learned, Nestor, our island has faced a lot of challenges in the past, and being in PR and marketing for as long as I have, one thing I've learned quickly is don't panic. Try to maintain, the bare minimum and don't panic. And then ask yourself, what is our new normal and what does that mean for us, right? Obviously, we're in the business of automotive, hospitality. We are greatly affected. Of course, as an entire organization and group of companies, we had to start with data, right? And how the pandemic impacted our business. And we had to do that quickly. And then for me on the marketing side and the PR side, I know that that's the first thing to go, right? And Krista and I know Eveline can attest to that. It's the knee-jerk reaction,
Yeah.
And we have to step back and we have to prioritize the work that's required to continue investing in the essential brand and the business growth, and then look at areas that don't provide like a direct return, right? So that's where we started. We had to be nimble. We had to adapt quickly. It's been definitely challenging, but you know what? My team's been up for the challenge. We've tried to stay positive. It's great being in a community where everybody wants to help one another. I know it's striking that fine balance, right? Because you want to help, but you don't want to exploit the situation from a marketing standpoint, right? But we wanted to help. We wanted to do what we could. We had restaurants, bringing food to frontliners. We weren't touting that. It's kind of hard when you want to share things about yourself. You don't want to do it. You want other people to do it. So it was definitely finding that right balance and still maintaining, brand relevance, right? We've done so many things. I can say on the automotive side, it's great that I work with a bunch of visionary men who had introduced online car shopping well before COVID, so we felt we were in a prime position to, basically further that message and take advantage of the opportunity. We were already delivering cars to homes. We were already pre-approving online, so that made it easy. The restaurants, on the other hand, we are a business of dine-in and networking and socializing. So, we had to shift quickly. We had to introduce family platters. We had to introduce curbside takeaway. So, it really was asking ourselves, what is our new normal? Because without a doubt, our customers have reassessed everything they're doing. And we had to be right alongside them, ready to adapt.
Sure. Same question to you, Eveline. How has it been at GTA?
Everything that Kristen had said and more, we were in an interesting position because, our business was critical for a lot of these families to stay connected with the world, right? And businesses to stay connected with the world. So, not only did we have to blend in the safety and security of our people and ensuring that there was no fear as they were coming into work, because we were one of the essential businesses that stayed open. But we actually had an uptick in the people who needed more internet services in their homes. And then, you know, combining that with, you know, everyone now is doing everything online or over the phone, you know, we had to make sure that our call center was in place and that everyone was working and that they could work from the safety of their own home. So shifting and ensuring that they could actually do the call center from their house, that was really important. And then making sure that we had the services online necessary for us to continue to sell and for our families and our residential customers to continue to get our service. So it was a blend of keeping our people safe as our number one priority, as well as continuing to service our customers and ensuring that they stayed connected. And, you know, as we made the FCC pledge to keep America connected, we ensured that even if they were not able to make payment, we continued to keep everyone connected, and that pledge will go through the end of this month. So, you know, how do we shift our business to ensure that, you know, we're not really focused on the numbers, and we are focused on everyone's ability to stay connected. And there's so many things that we had done really as part of the DNA of being around for 60 years in Guam and being the infrastructure of choice for many businesses, for our government, for our military, and our homes, so that we can, you know, continue to offer all of our great services to them. And more important than ever, you know, distance learning, ensuring our kids were connected online to their teachers, right? Or, you know, for some, if they weren't doing distance learning, they were, you know, staying connected to television shows or, you know, keeping them entertained. You know, it was really difficult with kids. I have a 4-year-old, so I know it's really hard at home. And making sure that we still have those services. So, you know, we did curbside delivery. So we have online order forms for anything that you need at GTA, and you can come pick it up at our stores, all the way to, you know, ensuring that people knew how to pay online. You know, we have a lot of older individuals that really love coming into our stores. So ensuring that our stores stay super clean and sanitized, and we are doing social distancing and masking up and ensuring that there's always sanitizer out there for those individuals. And then getting the word out that, you know, we have stayed open and that, you know, our trucks are still rolled out to ensure that the infrastructure is still connected. On the enterprise side, you know, as you know, there's a lot of cables coming into Guam. That business hasn't stopped. You know, we were still building our networking center. Our data center is still, you know, up and coming. That construction has continued to go on, and it's just working through this this critical time and ensuring that everyone is safe.
Chris, I wanted to change the topic a little bit. Chris mentioned this, you know, the fact that one of the first casualties during tough economic times is advertising. You know, businesses will say, I can't afford to advertise, but marketing executives or ad executives would tell you, no, that's exactly the opposite of what you need to do. In tough times, you do need to advertise. I wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I was going to make a point of her comment. I am kind of blessed because I'm on both sides of the fence right now. I have this position at KUAM and helping customers place their advertisement, but not just that, just get information out. It's more than just messaging now. It's more than just, you know, these are hours of operation, or these are the services we provide. This is what we're doing for right now until we get to the next core level, or this is what we're doing right now until some more restrictions are lifted. So it's been very interesting to have a different way to talk to people, potential advertisers, because it isn't just about, you know, you need to advertise, you need to let people know that, you know, your doors are open. It's you need to let people know that you have these essential products, that you have these essential services available for people who are hurting. And so that's a whole different mindset. For the last 8 years, I've also been a marketing consultant for the GFS group, which handles King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday and Chuck E. Cheese. And so with those three animals, because they're completely different, it's been a challenge too to try and figure out, okay, I need to practice what I preach as far as making sure that we get the information out and we keep people informed as to what we're doing. I have never heard so many angry people when King's wasn't open the second they were allowed to be for dine-in. So, I mean, that's something to consider. We also had to, for the first time, figure out how we were going to work with the delivery service. Hats off, big shout out to Grab and Grub and Good to Go Guam for their services, and Stroll Guam, I guess they're also doing it. What an awesome, service to provide during this time to make sure that people can still do business with restaurants. And that was something that I thought was really unique to this situation, but really wonderful that we had the opportunity to do that. And so now moving forward, nobody's talking about, okay, let's stop delivery and just do this. Everything is, okay, let's offer as many services as we can. Yep. And right. So, and then I think with on the opposite side, on the KUAM side of my life, I think that, just making sure that people understand that we are a service provider at this point. We're not necessarily, just trying to take your money. We're trying to work with you with whatever budget you might still have in the coffers that we can apply towards making sure that people understand where you're at, what's going on with your business, with your employees, with the services that you can or cannot provide until a certain point in time. And so as unique as that has been, it's also been pretty great because it makes you feel like you are part of the front line. You are helping people deliver. And I'm sure, Nestor, you feel the same way in a news capacity. You are doing your job tenfold because
I've always
right.
Yeah. I've always
You're now
felt that
able
the news,
to apply it in a different way.
Yeah, I've always felt that the news was a service provider. We provide information that is necessary, needed, and wanted by the public. Yeah, absolutely.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Yeah, that's not going to... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Chris.
Well, I was going to say one thing we know about consumers is that they're going to maintain being emotional beings. They continue to seek value. They continue to seek a vote of trust. And the only way that you can do that is if you're constantly in communication with them. So I look at your job too, Nestor. I mean, it's crucial. It's essential. I mean, the more communication you put out there, there's not going to be a sense of over communicating right now in this era we're in, right?
Yeah. Especially in times of crisis like we are now. And we've done that, of course, through the years in typhoons and earthquakes and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a different form of marketing. Just a different form of marketing.
Yeah. Chris, I wanted to, because you brought up a couple of things that I actually wanted to get into. What I've noticed lately is that national ads have not been focusing specifically on product or services. Their messaging seems to be more like one of empathy for what's going on in the country right now. And I was wondering, maybe Kristine Lujan, if you could speak to that. What are your thoughts about the ads on TV and maybe even on social media now not being really focused on selling a product and services, but just showing the company has this empathy for what the people are going through right now?
Yeah, and I think, Nestor, I'm actually glad you bring that up because the first thing that you want everyone to know, right, is that you're there for them. But as an advertiser and marketer, how do you strike that fine balance? How do you find the right tone? Because the last thing that our company wants to do is exploit any kind of situation. We'd like to stay humble because I think people appreciate that. They want a genuine approach to especially advertising. And I know both Krista and Eveline can attest to this. So it really is about looking at what you're doing during this pandemic, how you're supporting the efforts, and is it going to be relevant to the customer, right? Is it going to resonate with them? Because if it's not, and it's just you touting yourself, people are going to see right through it, right, Nestor? So, I mean, I love watching these videos where there really is some really good things coming out of it. For us, we did want to do something for our staff, and we wanted to kind of express the spirit of empathetic. And so what we did was we wanted them to see what other team members were doing out in the community while maintaining social distancing. And at that time, our restaurants were still delivering food to GMH. They were partnering with other restaurants to just do some good out there because they couldn't keep still and watch, right? While everybody else was suffering or was anxious. And so we collected all of these photos and just things that we were doing, like our service department was considered essential. And what we offered our customers was a drop and go service so that they could just come. They had little interaction, with our service advisors. They just wanted to just get it done and leave, So there were all these little things that our employees and staff were doing. And we thought that, I think the approach that we wanted to take was empathetic within the heart of our organization and just sharing that with them. And then eventually it went out and it was shared, on social media. And I loved that. But I think it has to happen organically, Nestor. And I think you definitely have to look at the right tone. There were franchise partners of ours and dealers that shut down their factories to make PPE, the protection of
PPEs. Yeah.
Frontliners. And I thought that was amazing. And I was like sharing that. I mean, that's awesome. You're really showing the support. They're going to be shut down. They're not making any money right now. They want people to see like you can do your part too. And I think that was crucial, is that finding that right balance of communicating that empathetic spirit, we're in it together, is really, I felt, was the key for those type of promotions. And I think it's great. I love seeing them. I think everyone here is doing them, right?
Sure. Eveline, I know that GTA as well has been doing a lot of similar things to what Chris was saying that Triple J is doing. I know, for example, that GTA has been passing out PPEs and that sort of thing. Can you speak to that question as well about having messaging or community relations that are viewed as very empathetic to what the community is going through?
Yeah, so one of the areas of the business that's also under my team is corporate citizenship, and it because it goes hand in hand with what we do in PR. And I think what was really significant during this time was to put aside some of the plans that we already had with marketing and making that nimble switch, right? And that's the hardest thing, because we've spent time on doing other videos or other advertising and basically pushing that aside and saying, hey, what is relevant to the customer today? And it is the safety message. It is the message that, during this time, we are here to help, across the board, whether it's frontliners or it's the nursing home or it's, the food banks, they all need something, and we are in the position to help. And so we didn't just help on the internet or connectivity side with mobile plans. We also helped, put food in the food banks, right? And we helped Harvest House. That was one of our big plays last year, is to really work with the foster kids, right? To put more into youth empowerment. That's our big campaign that we wanted to do, so that we create a better future for this island. And so we went ahead and we continued down that path, and we continued with that strategy, but really more along the lines of what does our community need right now? Because it makes a lot of sense you give when they need, as opposed to give, when they're not really needing those things. And so we put aside our, current marketing plan, and we really adopted a plan that would, speak to what our island needs are at this point.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Yeah. Krista, the harsh reality of this pandemic, if it isn't already, it will be, apparently, according to what most people, observers will say, that it's going to be a tough economic road ahead. So how does a business, from an advertising perspective, go forward? What's the strategy for businesses, knowing that their customers in most cases won't have the kind of disposable income that they might have had pre-pandemic?
Right. I think it's definitely not a cookie cutter solution. You know, it's really a customized approach to each industry and each business based on what sort of traffic they can anticipate, what sort of customer base they can try and revive at the very lowest to the very, highest on the spectrum. Try and figure out where you are. And that's probably the hardest part, because now I think most people are trying to just find a normal, like, Kristine mentioned, a new normal. Once you can kind of find that degree, wherever you fall, in the timeline, then maybe make the plans. The pre-pandemic plans are out the window. Nobody can really expect to just, okay, now everybody's not sick anymore, so let's just go back to what we did before. It's not going to happen that way. And so by preparing early, having a conversation, have a conversation with anybody who is in marketing, anybody who is in advertising, get a feel for what everyone else is talking about. Communication really is key. It's really awesome that you have GTA on with us today, because I think that communication, whether it's through meetings like this, whether it's through telephone conversations or sitting in front of each other with masks, it doesn't matter. As long as the point is we are all trying to get to a place that we can all continue to work together, we can provide the services that we all need to provide, and we can all count on some sort of revenue to be able to feed our families, help our employees, and help the community. It's going to take a village, literally. And I think that the more we communicate, the more we strategize together about the different things, we'll come up with those solutions a lot faster. For us right now, our motivating factor, of course, is always sales, and always trying to get the sponsorships and get people to realize the benefit of advertising with us at KUAM. But it's a little bit more than that now, because we have to put the empathy hats on before we walk out the door, before we pick up the phone. And we have to say, we understand you are probably hurting. This is probably the worst things have ever been for you, but we're here for you, and we will value add to any package that we present. We will figure out ways to make it a little bit easier, a little bit more affordable, a little bit more customized for you specifically, to make you feel good about the transaction so that we can feel good about it as well. And I think that's going to be the general theme for a very long time.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Okay, Jason's telling me we've got about 6 minutes left, so let me ask Kristine, what are your thoughts about the way forward here for Triple J? I know that you guys do cars, you do restaurants, you do wholesale distribution. How are you? What is your strategy? What is the vision of the company, the Jones Brothers, going forward?
Well, what we know is the pandemic brought about several changes, right? Digitization, social distancing, the importance of sanitization. Eveline touched on that. That's going to be our new delivery, of communication pieces, right? And I think as long as we stay nimble, and the ladies agree, I'm sure with me, and adapt to our consumer behavior, Nestor, because it's changing. I'll tell you right now, my team is busier than they were pre-COVID, trying to adapt to the needs for the restaurants especially. And like I said, thankfully for the auto group, we were in a prime position to take advantage of our online shopping tool. So we're already ahead of the curve on that, we feel. Now it's just a matter of how do we find new ways to deliver the value and convenience that our consumers want, all at a distance, all at, and enhancing our health and safety measures. This is why the digital age it just got here much sooner than we all, anticipated in terms of increasing that pace that we all talked about just a couple of months ago, and I think we're confident that our businesses will thrive, we're hopeful, and we definitely have faith in our team to overcome. They have been, amazing. For example, our Red Lobster team and our Outback team, nationally, the franchises have touted how quickly they've adapted to the situation. So now you're going to see that maybe right now half of our business is takeout. And then the other half is now trying to get slowly back our dine-in customers. So it's just adapting to all these needs and being, ready and able to do that, and staying connected. We need to stay connected to our consumers. We need to continually revisit their behaviors and adapt to it. So it's going to be a long road of recovery, Nestor, but we're here for the long haul. We're rooted here.
Chris, you can give me a call. I'll help keep you connected. Just give me a call.
Yeah, Chris, you mentioned the digital age, and that gives me a perfect segue to end up with Eveline here. Eveline GTA, of course, is prime position for this digital age, and if technology and social media and other forms of communication aren't already the predominant venue or vehicle for marketing and advertising, they probably are quickly headed that way. So you can give us your final thoughts, Eveline, on what you think GTA's positioning is going to be going forward post-pandemic.
I think what's interesting is that our mission hasn't changed, right? It's just become a lot more important for all these businesses and families. So we're going to continue to invest in the infrastructure on island, all the way connected from our island all over the world through our cable landing stations and the undersea cables. So we will continue that path. We'll continue our path to modernization. Internally as a company, we were able to adopt a lot of digital transformations as a culture, because transformation isn't just the computer, or isn't just the connection, but it's the culture of the digital transformation that makes it huge, right? So that's the stuff that we have been working on for the last 2 years before the pandemic. So it kind of, it definitely sped up the process. And we saw the need. And I think, one really important piece is, as a leader in marketing with, my pals, Chris and Chris, we want to make sure that, we keep our teams nimble, we keep our teams strong so that we stay relevant, and that, our employers and the people around Guam understand just how important this communication piece is. And that, as long as it's necessary, we're going to be here as a company to support all of our businesses, like KUAM and our Triple J Brothers. And we will continue to stay connected. And what you're going to see in this next year is faster speeds, more connections with our limitless plans, so that we ensure that all of the other businesses will continue to thrive and grow even during this pandemic.
All right, thank you very much. As always, during these in full Zoom segments, I always run short of time because the conversations are always so fascinating. So I thank you very much, ladies, for joining us for this segment. Eveline Campus, Eveline Campus, GTA, Kristine Lujan of Triple J Enterprises, and our own Krista Gaza. Thank you, ladies. Great time. Appreciate it. I'm Nestor Licanto. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.